My name's Tim Lydy. I build stuff randomly. It's a lot of superhero stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great stuff.
Thank you.
So, what got you into Lego?
Well, I've always been building. So a lot of people have like a dark age where they kind of go out. I'm not one of those people. So I've always been building. When I was young, I was building in my dorm room at college, and I never stopped. And fortunately, this is the result.
Yeah.
Never ending. But yeah, it's something you can always come back to, and you always come up with new ideas. So it's something to do it.
So, what's your profession?
I'm retired at the moment. So, but otherwise, I own a shipping company. So, do a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing related at all to Lego.
Yeah.
But it is a good creative outlet.
Yeah. So, what's your inspiration for all this stuff?
So I do a lot of like IP work. So like lots of superheroes, lots of stuff like related to existing IPs. I do run the Eurobricks collab, which is a big group of international builders at BrickWorld Chicago every year. So that way, I do run we do our own ideas and concepts for group displays. So that's a good outlet for that. But otherwise, in my personal capacity, I do a lot of mostly superhero stuff is what I'm known for, and that and character work.
So, how did you learn all these different techniques and such?
A lot of it's just from it's trial and error over the years. So I've been in the community for so long that back in the day, everyone would post on mock pages. People might not even know what that is anymore.
Yeah.
And then Flickr, and then Instagram, and so you meet a lot of really cool people. And a great way is to just go to the conventions and start, meeting people, interacting, and just seeing new techniques and everything.
So, what is going to be your next big project, you think?
So I'm always working on stuff for BrickWorld Chicago. It's kind of like the premier convention. So I've got a crazy build for that. And then it's just sort of whatever in the moment I'm interested in. Frequently I have all these builds, but I keep them all together. So I have to basically buy new pieces every time I want to make a new build. So there are frequent periods where I'll start building something and then I'll just have to stop for a couple weeks.
You don't have
month.
anything for it.
Yeah, so that really kind of shifts my focus all the time. But eventually I settle on something and then hopefully finish it at some point.
Yeah. So what's your favorite Lego theme? If you had to go in the store and pick something.
In the store right now, I don't know.
Or anytime.
Maybe like Adventurers.
Yeah.
I only owned like a handful of sets as a kid, so that's sort of one of those. Whenever I think of old Lego, I just imagine those old magazines and all the sets that I didn't own, but they look good. So but at this point, I don't really I'll buy sets mostly just immediately for the pieces. But yeah, there's always lots of stuff out there. Nothing in particular.
So how do you start the planning for something like this Juggernaut?
No planning.
No planning?
I don't like diagram or anything.
So you just get some pieces?
Yes. So I have the idea and the concept, and I'll have a lot of ideas that just sit around for a couple of years in my head, and then I usually just start going at it. Something like the Juggernaut, where that's definitely a character thing. So if I can't get the figure to work, I'm just not going to do the build.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of stuff, even like a more complicated build like my police department, where the most planning I did for that was a drawing on a piece of paper where the wiring was going to go, just because that's so expensive, I didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
But normally I just freehand pretty much everything. I don't use Studio or, I like to physical build, so, but it does allow me to do a lot of changing on the fly and just kind of go with the flow of the build.
So have you ever gotten super far into a project and realized it's not going to work, so you just have to scratch it all?
Usually not.
You just change it up some?
Yeah, I change it. I will occasionally notice mistakes on builds of I made a mistake and I went too far in, and then I can't replace the parts or something that's too locked in. But usually I'll frequently just buy pieces for builds I'm assuming I'm going to do, and then just don't do them. So that's the most kind of extreme form of that.
So out of all these, which one do you think was your most challenging, or anything in this area?
I don't know. It's really difficult in hindsight to think about that, because some of them are it's kind of like how much effort do I want to put into it? 'Cause
Yeah.
you can always kind of over design something, but at a certain point you just kind of have to move on. So I do frequently. I know people will tinker and tinker and tinker and go over the same piece and area a lot. I'm not one of those people. I just like first pass, done, good enough. So a lot of stuff that's difficult is like lettering, but over the years, like I think character design is really difficult, but it's something I'm really happy with what I've done and how I've worked towards it.
Yeah, all of your part usage looks great. Like Juggernaut's arms, and then
and it's over the years Lego has released more colors and more pieces, more colors, so I'm able to do a lot more and more. So I'm really excited about Light Nougat.
Oh,
a lot of usage out of that. It's the spoilers for Chicago, but the more colors and more variety of types pieces, the more options it opens. So that's especially good for character building, because I remember back in the day, there was a time when you built characters without mixless joints.
Yeah.
But that was a dark time.
Yeah. So what has taken the longest and like most time to build?
Of my personal stuff, probably like the Goblin Castle or Police Department, just something really, really big.
Yeah.
A lot of my stuff I kind of count in like days. So like a lot of the characters I'll design, it'll be like 1 or 2 days of build time. But once you start putting like wiring or gotta make it complicated for transport, that does add some time. And ultimately, I'm at the whim of the post office and how fast they'll send me the pieces.
Yeah. So how do you transport all this? Do you just like put it in a bin or?
Yeah, boxes, lots of boxes. It all fits in one car, and I can tear down all of it in an hour and a half on the dot. I'm very good at that. It's a lot of shrink wrap. That's my favorite thing. Boxes. I used to do tubs, no tubs, don't do tubs.
Yeah.
Moves. So really, because I do so many shows, I am building with stuff staying static in mind. So like whenever I have furniture pieces, I'm trying to attach them to the build itself, the floor, and so lock stuff. And my favorite thing to do is to just show up and then pull a bill out of the box and plop it on a table and then leave. You never want people to see you set up because it takes the mystique away.
So how long would a build like this take you?
Maybe the Juggernaut build took maybe 2 months. Again, that's a lot of part waiting. That was an interesting one. The figure was really difficult because of the sort of the proportions, and especially the helmet. You have to get a face and the helmet size and everything on there. It really varies. It's also how much like effort I want to put into it. But it's ultimately about getting the feel of the character and the setting and the motion and everything in there.
Yeah. So do you have anything where people can find you online or?
Yep, I am on Instagram, it's Tim Lydy, and also Flickr, for some reason you're on Flickr. But otherwise maybe at Eurobricks. I do a lot for the Eurobricks collab, so if you ever at BrickWorld Chicago and see some really weird looking display, it's probably I'm involved with it. So, it's mostly Instagram.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to BrickWorld Chicago.
It is. Our Eurobricks collab is the most Eurobricks of Eurobricks collabs. That's how we can describe it. We went full Eurobricks.
It'll be crazy this year. Has there been something you've been a part of that you're like very proud to have your name next to? Just like something that's like beyond what you usually do? And
the proudest moment I ever had as a Lego builder was with a couple years. This was maybe 2017 or something. We did a really large tree of worlds. So it was like a 6 foot tall tree. And for some reason it was like Saturday morning and it was like 7 in the morning and I'm standing there with my friend from Australia and my other friend who also happens to get up early in the morning. And we're just standing by the tree and there's no one else in the hall. And for some reason like 20 guys from all different directions, all wearing khaki shorts and black shirts come in. They stand by the tree and they said, okay, we're all here, let's go. And then they left.
What?
And the proudest moment that we made something important, we made a meeting point and it was just to make something significant.
Yeah, so big that they're like, all right, we'll meet there.
When you say the tree, we know where that is, and we'll meet and go. So something that just transcends just some bricks. Even as small as just a meeting point was worth it.
Yeah. Quite honestly, this all transcends just the bricks because you can look at it, see different things. Like it's just amazing. Seeing like you'll look at this whole thing of the Rhino and it looks great, but then you realize it's like the Indominus Rex, like torso. It's great.
That's sad. I have some dinos missing some pieces in my collection. It's really unfortunate, but that's what you have to do when you want to use super parts. And you know, sometimes it's cheaper just to buy an entire dino and then burn a tail out of it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So yeah, your stuff is the angles and like part usage is just it's beyond just amazing. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I'll see you at BrickWorld Chicago then.